Hello and welcome to the next part of training. My name is Dominic and I am a TL and trainer at VIPX. In this part of the training, we will be talking about teachers' basic responsibilities. Let's get started. So, the basic responsibilities of each teacher include having a stable internet connection. Now, this is very important because we are all online teachers. We are required to handle class over the internet. And if our internet is not stable, we cannot offer a stable class. Thus, we cannot be considered reliable teachers. So make sure that you have a stable internet connection. Now, when I say stable, I don't necessarily mean the fastest, but it's enough to handle the load that FC will put on our systems. Likewise, we must have adequate equipment in good working condition. When we say equipment, we mean things like your microphone. Make sure that you have a decent microphone and decent headset. I wouldn't recommend using speakers because the echo that could be created with the speakers could be confusing and distracting for the student, as it often is for us as teachers when we hear students having class without using a headset, only using their speakers. So ideally, we would like you to have a headset with a microphone, but we also accept the earbuds with the microphone inbuilt in them. That also works fine. But what we would like you to do is have it in your ears so there's no echo in the microphone itself if you're using your laptop microphone, and have a decent microphone so your voice is clear and it's not distorted and distracting to the student. Your webcam. You must have a decent webcam. The student must see your face. That's very important. That will really help with the connection in the class. Make sure that you have a decent webcam that is clear, so they can see your face, they can see your whole work area as well. You must have your webcam on at all times in class. If you do not have your webcam on, it could be considered a failed class, which will be discussed in a further training session. And lastly, you must have a good working computer. FC can be very demanding on our systems. So it's very important that our computer can meet those demands. Make sure that you understand what your computer can and cannot do prior to having class. It's very important that we are not limited by our technology as teachers. Rather, it should aid us in improving our teaching style and helping our students learn. So please make sure that you have checked your equipment, your headset, your microphone, your computer, and your internet connection. These are very important in having class. Failure to deliver a lesson due to equipment problems such as your headphone or your internet or microphone, your computer, will result in a possible warning. Please be aware of that. It is not an excuse that we accept if your equipment is not in good working condition. So please make sure that you have everything under control before you start taking classes. Okay, let's talk about our daily duties, the basic responsibilities of things that we must do every day. Number one, with a bullet, the most important responsibility that we all have in VIPX, be it a teacher, be it a TL, be it a trainer. Our most important responsibility is our student. Our number one thing that we must do every day is put our students first. If, for instance, I will have a training session and I will have training with teachers, and in the middle of my training session, my admin will say, I need you to sub a class. I will have to stop the training and go and focus on the student, and once I'm done with class, restart the training again. So it's very important for everyone to put their students first. Why? Because it's actually the company philosophy. It's actually the philosophy of VIPX. Students first. So make sure that you put your student first above all other things while you are on duty. While you are signed in, your student is the most important. Your admins, your TLs, they are important, but they are not as important as your students. So make sure you focus on, you give them your entire attention. They get everything from you. Make sure that you put them first. Number 2, refresh your portal frequently. This is really important because sometimes admins will put classes into your portal, like substitute classes, which I will go into in the next point. But sometimes admins will put substitute classes into your portal. They won't have time to message you. They won't have time to let you know because they've got 40 other teachers. They're messaging to handle other classes or to help with their issues. It can get very, very busy and confusing for them. So they'll put it in there. That's why we want all teachers to refresh their portal every 20 minutes to make sure they are on top of any changes that are made to the schedule throughout the shift. Sometimes they'll add classes. Sometimes they will remove classes. Make sure you are refreshing every 20 minutes if you are not in class. If you have no class, and we know when you have classes or not, make sure you are refreshing your portal. If not, you may miss a class and that will be your fault because you haven't refreshed your portal. So make sure you are always refreshing your portal to stay up to date. Now, number 3, be prepared to substitute. Now, generally admins will have time to message teachers, but as in the previous point, sometimes they don't. That's why we need to refresh. So you've already refreshed and you see a substitute class in your portal. What do? Make sure that you are prepared to teach that class. In your downtime, before you are fully booked, we expect you to go through all the materials for that week, for any EC classes that may be happening at that time, but definitely for regular classes. We expect you to be on top of the materials that are being offered for that week, that lesson for that week. Please make sure that you are familiar with the lesson so you do not go into the class and seem like you're unprepared, because parents will know and students will know, especially because they deal with teachers that are prepared. So make sure that you are also prepared to substitute a class, to also show that you are a good teacher as well. You are a prepared teacher and you want them to, you want the parents to spread the word that you are a good teacher. Even if you are not the student's regular teacher, you still want them to leave that feedback so other students who are looking for a teacher know that you are reliable in that aspect. Number 4, wear the company branded t-shirt. See, I'm wearing it, although I'm missing the logo because I'm not inside the United States. But make sure that you do. Make sure that you do have a purple t-shirt if you are outside the United States. If you are inside the United States or in an area that has relatively cheap shipping, make sure that you have ordered the t-shirt through the website because it basically cuts out any hassle for you. It's just delivered to your doorstep and it's all done. You have the logo, it's nice and everything. So make sure that you are wearing the company branded t-shirt. Follow basic directions from admins and TLs. Seek clarification. So this is really important. Sometimes TLs and admins will ask you to do certain things. Okay? If there's something they tell you that is not clear, don't just ignore it. Please make sure that you ask your TL or your admin to explain what they mean. Sometimes it isn't clear. Sometimes we're busy and when we're typing, we're talking with like 4 other people at the same time. So maybe what we're saying is not so clear. Please ask us to repeat ourselves. Please ask us to be more clear in the delivery of information if it's confusing for you. When you're in your team with your TL, there is no such thing as a stupid question. We want you to ask questions because then we know that we are helping you understand if something is confusing. Having said that, after you understand, you must make sure that you follow through with what your TL or admins request. Please don't just say you will do it and then not do it. We need you to follow that because admins and TLs are asking you to do something that is going to be of benefit to the team, such as subbing a class for a teacher who's become seriously ill. We would like you to do that because if it happens to you, we would also like to give you the same service as well. Number 6. Complete your weekly work assignments. Now we're going to talk more about that. This comes up as feedback, not feedback, but as your lesson plans, that kind of thing. So we are required to do lesson plans each week. You need to make sure that you are completing that. And make sure that you're submitting the work, not only completing it, but also submitting it on time. So meeting the deadlines and meeting the deadlines set by not only your TL, but by the admins and management as well. So not only do you need to complete the work, you also need to submit it on time. So please make sure that you are following all of these daily duties. Okay, so now let's talk about the WWA, or the Weekly Work Assignment. The WWA is basically our bulletin board where we post all important information that is relevant to all teachers and TLs throughout the week. Both REACH and HE teachers will have the WWA, although REACH and HE WWAs are different from one another. So, WWAs contain important information, reminders, dates, admin requests, and messages and requests from our TLs. As I said, it's like the bulletin board for reminders and things that have been affecting teachers a lot during that week. If it's included in the WWA, it's because it's a problem or a good thing that has been happening with a lot of people throughout the week and is put there as a reminder to guide or coach the other teachers until the problem is solved. Number 2, WWAs are distributed at the beginning of the work week in DING by the TLs. Our work week starts on Tuesday, so the WWAs are distributed then. Make sure you look out for that. Teachers are required to read the WWA at the beginning of the week. Okay, so when the WWA is distributed by the TL, it's very important that everyone reads the WWA because the information in there is often critical to the operation of the team as well as the project as a whole. So make sure that you read the WWA to stay up to date with all information going through the teams. Number 4, all work must be submitted to the specific person by the deadline specified. If there is work that needs to be submitted, it will be listed in the WWA, and it will also have there in the WWA where and to whom you should submit the work to and by when. Usually it's by Sunday at 2200 hours of that work week. So make sure that you are aware of the deadline and to whom you must submit the work to. And requests for work not submitted will be emailed to the teacher and copied to the team department. So when a teacher doesn't submit the work on time, the TL will email the teacher asking them for the work, and they will also CC team department to make sure that they are aware that the teacher has not submitted this work. It's very important that we submit work as directed by our TLs and admins. It is part of our job, and we are not only teachers, but we also have to create the materials that we use for our classes. So make sure that you do follow the instructions in the WWA. So now, as you can see, I have here the example of what a WWA looks like. As you can see, there is some information here that is critical to teachers, such as retention bonuses, the admin messages. Also on the next pages, we have the emergency leave procedure, things that are affecting teachers, many teachers, something that we feel that would be beneficial for all teachers to be reminded of. So we remind them of these things, such as time management, which is very important. A lot of teachers are either late or under time for their classes because of poor time management, so we often have to remind them of that. And then for the experiencing courses as well. Now this is for HE. REACH will look a little bit different, but in essence they are the same. They have the same information and they have the same content as the same materials. They REACH and HE WWAs often contain very similar information. REACH and HE WWAs often contain very similar information in the sense that it is something that is affecting a lot of teachers, and they have to be reminded of this. And at the same time, we have to help other teachers understand that these things either need to be followed or should not be done in class. So please make sure that you do read your WWA. And that's it for our basic responsibilities. Please make sure that you go over this video again if there was anything that you did not understand. And please make sure that you do answer the questions before moving on to the next part. Thank you very much for your time and have a great day. See you in the next video.